Okay, hello everyone. So this is it. I've cut it out. Waist times 3 plus 10 inches for standard, 5 inches for miniature. So this is the strip I've cut out, and then the length, the width. My width now is 68. Why my length is the skirt length plus hemming allowance, which is 1 inch. So I have it here. So what I'm going to do, the first thing you need to do on one part. On one part of the width, you need to hem. So the first step is for you to hem one part of the width, which I'm going to do now. Okay, now this is it. I've done the hemming and ironed one part. I've hemmed and ironed properly. So the reason why I'm using black thread is for you to see, so that you can see it and understand every step. But for yours, you have to use a matching color thread. So I've hemmed the down part. So the other up part of the width, I'm going to mark by 0.25. So I'm going to mark by 0.25 all the way. Watch how I go. I'm marking 2 lines by 0.25. I have 0.25 here, then another 0.25, making both of them 0.5. So that's what I'll mark all the way. 0.25. This is it, 0.25. Then another one, making it 0.5. Are you seeing it? So this is what I'll be marking all the way. 0.25, 0.5. I'll mark it all the way and then connect all my. So this is it. I've already connected all the dots using my straight ruler. So I have 0.25 and then another 0.25. So I have 2 lines all the way on the other part of the width. This is the hem part, this is the 2 lines. So now we're moving straight to the machine for me to show you how to adjust your machine. Okay, now we're going to sew on the lines that we've ruled. So the first thing to do is to adjust the stitch length adjuster. What I need to do, I'll bring down my reverse lever, and then you have to bring this down for the stitch adjuster to move. I bring down my reverse lever and then I move it to 5 so that my stitch length will be long. So after doing that, I'll start sewing. Now I'm sewing, I'm not going to lock. You don't lock the edge, you just start sewing straight. And make sure your thread doesn't cut. If it cuts, you have to lose and start over. You need a straight line. So I'm going to be sewing on that 0.25 line, on the first one. I just sew straight down. Remember, you are not locking starting or end. All you need to do is just to sew straight down. So at the end, you don't lock. You raise your footer and bring out the thread. Give it more room. Now I'm going to sew on the other line. Watch, you see my stitch length now is longer. It's longer because we adjusted it. So this way I'm able to pull my gathers easily. So I'm going to sew on the other 0.25 line now. Same thing, you don't lock, you just start sewing straight down. Make sure your thread doesn't cut. So this is it. Same way, I raise my footer, bring down my thread and give it more room. So what we're going to do next is to pull the gathers. So after sewing both 0.25 lines, watch what I do. You pick the thread, the one up of both lines. Either you pick the one up or the one below. So I'm using the up one. This is it for the first line. This is the first thread for the first line, and then I'll pick for the second, the first up one. So either you pick the 2 thread up or the 2 below. Watch. Now after picking them, I'll hold the thread. Be careful for it not to cut. You hold it firm and then you start adjusting to form your gathers. You start adjusting. So I'll adjust to an extent and then I'll go to the other part and pull. So now you start pulling your gathers. This is what I'll be doing now, pulling my gathers. So I'll be pulling it. The reason why, you see how I'm pulling? The reason why is this free for me to pull is because I adjusted my stitch length. If you miss that part, you won't be able to pull freely. So that's why you have to adjust it to 5 so that you can pull the gathers freely. So I'll pull to like midway and then I'll pull on the other part. So what I'm pulling, measurement I'm going to get, I'm going to pull back to the waist measurement. My waist is 21, so to get my width of gathers, I did 21 times 3 plus 10 inches for standard, 5 inches for miniature. So I have 68 here. So now I'm going to pull the gathers back to 21. So plus zip allowance, I'll be pulling back to 23 because I'm using 1 inch zip allowance on both sides. So I'm pulling. When I put to an extent, I will come to the other side of the fabric, pick both thread, 2 in front or 2 at the under. The first, this is it, the one up or the one below, and then we'll pull same way. So make sure you're careful, because if the thread cuts, if any of the thread cuts, either the first one or the second one, any of the thread cuts, you have to loosen all this and start back. So you have to be careful for the thread not to cut. Otherwise, if it cuts, there's no remedy, you have to start back. Otherwise you won't get the real gathers. It won't be full and flowy as what you wanted. So I have to pull. So this is it. I've pulled both parts, so I need to check. I told you I'm going to get 23. Now I have 18, so what I need to do is readjust. You readjust it back to where you want it. Please, as you are readjusting, make sure the gathers, make sure they are equal, they flow completely everywhere. Don't start giving space and then one side is full, the other part is not full. So I'll adjust back till I get my 23. This is 20. So I have the 23 now. So what I need to do now, I'll just adjust it so I don't have space. I'll just adjust it so that the gathers flow completely. So that's all right. Next, this is the front part of my fabric. I still have my thread. This is the front part of my fabric, so I'll close them up. This is the wrong side of the fabric. I'll close them up. So I have 1 inch on both sides for zip allowance. Then I'll measure my zip length. So for standard, you measure 7 inches. So because I'm using a miniature, a smaller version, I'm just going to use 3.5. Now I'll close the remaining part. Next, I'll fix the zip on the back part. I'll open it up and then sew. I've already folded the 1 inch allowance in. Sew a bit. Make sure my needle is inside. Raise my footer, close it up. Continue sewing. Also, the fact that the needle is inside, it won't be moving. And then I sew to like 0.25 below the lock part of the fabric. Turn my fabric. Make sure this other part is lapping the zip, just covering the zip. Now I'll sew straight. So it's covering it. And then I'll go straight down. So this is it. So what I'm going to do next is fix my band. What I'm going to do next is fix my band. I already have the waistline on. So I have my zip. Now I'll fix the band around it. So this is it. This is the gather skirt. So I fixed the band now. Watch, the band is covering the 2 lines we used in pulling our gathers. The band is covering it, so this is the gather skirt. See, the whole gathers is aligned, lengthful.